بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of 40 Hadith, and as you remember, in this Hadith we were introduced to three types of seekers of knowledge, and only one of them are true seekers of knowledge. Then we said that when people are seeking knowledge, sometimes their soul, their spirit, is connected to the high realms. According to Imam Khomeini, Malakut A'la wa Alam Malaiki Muqarrabin. So your soul can get connected to highest realm of reality, to a kingdom of the world, and to the world of angels who are very close. So for sure, if someone rises to that level, then would get very good and useful inspirations. So the knowledge that will be given to these people would be angelic and would be true knowledge. But if someone gets connected to lower immaterial world, which is the world of jinn and shaitan and nufus khabitha. Of course, some jinns are good, but their level of understanding is lower. And then some bad spirits are also there. Then those things that they receive would be satanic and would be jahl murakkab. They think they know, but they don't know. And they are in a worse situation compared to the people who don't know at all. Because those who don't know, they know that they don't know. Jahl basit. Jahl murakkab means compound, it's complicated. They don't know, but they think they know. And we said that because of this, our scholars tell us that when you seek knowledge, in addition to making sure that you have proper book, proper teacher, a subject which is important, you have to work on your niyyah and on your sincerity, and you have to try to purify your nafs. Because based on the condition of your nafs either gets connected to the realm of the angels or to the realm of the satans. So this is very important. And then we talked about ittaqullah wa yu'allimukumullah, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would teach people who have taqwa, because taqwa polishes the heart and makes it ready for receiving knowledge. He says, Dar mabadi aliyeh bukhl muhal ast. In the highest realms of existence, in the highest degrees of existence, means Allah, and then the levels which are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no chance for miserliness. Anha wajibul fayyadiyah hastan. They have to be gracious. Allah is gracious, and the highest realms are also gracious. If there is any limit, is in our capacity. Otherwise, they are necessarily gracious. As the Quran says, كَتَبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. Allah has made it necessary for Himself to be merciful. So philosophers say it how different. They say, واجب الوجود بالذات واجب من جميع الجهات. If something is possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it would be necessary. If something is possible and doesn't happen, it must be for a reason. In the realm of spirits, there is no reason. In the worldly level, yes, condition is not ready. Allah is there, but I don't have my rest. I don't have, for example, I don't know, many things. Why? Because His grace, which is not limited, when it comes to a limited container like the physical world, then it would be limited. He says, if human soul is busy with looking after herself, and just eating and drinking and this type of nafsaniyat, these type of things which are related to just animal aspect of the self, or if our aim of study is misguided, then what we are going to receive would be satanic suggestions. Then he says, what is important is not how much concepts you know, how much technical terms you know, how many books you have studied, how many certificates you have. What is important, and all these are only important if can lead to that, is removal of the veil. If our nafs can reach the point of ma'rifatullah and we can sense the presence of Allah, then all this type of learning has been useful. Otherwise, it has not been useful. He says, Mizan an means the criterion for knowledge, Raf'a hujub as cheshme basirat nafsas. So the eye of the heart, which is not the physical eye, if has no veil in front of him and can have ma'rifatullah, knowledge of God, then this is knowledge. علم حقیقی آن است که چراغ هدایت ملکوت و صراط مستقیم تقرب حق و دار کرامت او باشد. True knowledge is the one that is like a light that helps you in your journey on the right path. This light that can come with you on the right path, this is true knowledge. Otherwise, it would be by itself a hijab. If it doesn't help you in your journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's hijab. And he says, unfortunately, in the same way that we say, people are asleep. When they die, they wake up. Yeah? He says, unfortunately, we, people of knowledge and studies, with Ahlul Ilm, Talab, sometimes also we think we are doing lots of good things. We are studying, we are teaching, we are learning, we are writing, which all look very nice. But after 50 years, more or less, he says, then we realize that we have not achieved anything. We think our study is for the sake of Allah, but we are not aware of all the plots of shaitan and nafs ammara. It is very sad how we easily are deceived. May Allah have mercy on us. Therefore, Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam, they have always reminded us about the worries of a wayfarer, of a seeker of knowledge and light, and that you should not have good opinion about yourself. You should be suspicious about yourself. Al-mu'minu dhaninun binafs. Don't dismiss the chances of having insincere intentions quickly and say, no, alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Even if you were okay up to yesterday, it doesn't mean that today you are okay. You have to always be critical of yourself. Then he says, in this hadith we have three types of seekers of knowledge. Two of them are on the wrong track. Two of them, in a sense, are after dunya, although we said that some of them are people of arguing and quarreling and mirah, and some are people of istatala, they want superiority and they are after deception. But both of them are misguided. Therefore, in some hadiths, instead of having three, we have two. Because these two of these become all the same in being confused and on the wrong direction. This hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, which we actually had it in Islamic theory of education. من أراد الحديث لمنفعة الدنيا لم يكن له في الآخرة نصيب. This is one group of seekers of knowledge. The one who is after learning hadith for the benefit of dunya. He has no share, nothing he will get in the hereafter. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ بِهِ خَيْرَ الْآخِرَةِ. But the one who wants the good of akhirah, أَعْتَاهُ اللَّهُ خَيْرَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Allah will give him the best or the good of dunya and akhirah. Then he has a chapter in which he brings some hadith about problems that are caused by mirah. You remember we said mirah means you argue, even if you are right. If you insist too much, it's not good, it's mirah. And hadith says, رَحِمَ اللَّهُ امْرَأً تَرَكَ الْمِرَاءَ وَإِنْ كَانَ مُحِقًّا. May Allah's mercy be upon the one who stops arguing too much, even if he's right. So now let's refer to some hadiths. The first hadith here is in Kafi again, from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and Imam Sadiq said, قال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام إياكم والمراء والخصومة. You must avoid two things: mirah, arguing too much, and khusuma, fighting, which here means fighting in conversation. He says khusumata dar maqal. In your speech, sometimes you fight. You don't have peaceful discussion. Amir al-Mu'minin says you must avoid these two. Why? فَإِنَّهُمَا يُمْرِضَانِ الْقُلُوبَ عَلَى الْإِخْوَانِ. Arguing too much, repeating your position few times, insisting on your position, makes the hearts of the brothers ill. You will develop some kind of dislike and hatred towards your brothers. وَيَنْبُتُ عَلَيْهِمَ النِّفَاقِ. Also hypocrisy can grow on the ground of these two. When there is mirah and khusumah, then people become sometimes dishonest. They don't then love you, they hate you because of that, but they pretend that they love you. So they cover their nifaq. There is another hadith in Kafi from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْخُصُومَةِ فَإِنَّهَا تَشْغَلُ الْقَلْبِ وَتُورِثُ النِّفَاقَ وَتُكْسِبُ الضَّقَائِنِ. You must avoid fighting again in the speech, because it makes your heart busy, would lead to hypocrisy, brings hatred. So mu'min is not someone who is insisting too much on something. Even if it is the best thing in the world, if someone is not going to accept once, twice, maximum 3 times, leave it. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Jibreel told the Prophet that be careful about not arguing and quarreling with people. Then Imam Khomeini here has a beautiful point again, which I have highlighted. He says, it's a very nice point. He says, our actions have impact on us. Even physical actions by organs have impact on us. But bad actions, he says, more quickly and more strongly leave their impact on us. Bad actions leave their impact more quickly. If I want to give you an example, from another field. For example, if you get a little poison, you quickly see the effect. But if you take a kind of box of vitamins, it takes you a while to see the result, if any. Yeah. But a little poison, very quickly you can see the result. So he says, اعمال سیئه تأثیرش در قلب بسیار زودتر و شدیدتر است. Bad actions would have their impact on the heart more faster and stronger. Why? He says, because we are from the world of nature, عالم طبیعت. And in the world of nature, appetites and anger and wishes things are easier available and at work. To do something spiritual in the physical world is more difficult than doing something physical or materialistic. For example, he says there is hadith that إن الشيطان يجري مجرى الدم في بني آدم, something like this, or من بين آدم. Satan, like blood that goes everywhere in our body, can go around. Basically, we are working in a world that Shaitan is open-handed to some extent, is active, is present. So he says you have to be very careful about anything bad, whether it be your actions or bad friends, it can have quickly impact on you. Therefore, in our hadith, there is great emphasis on avoiding bad friends, making friendship with bad people. In Kafi and Abi Abdullah alayhi salam, قال أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام لا ينبغي للمرء المسلم أن يؤاخي الفاجر. A Muslim man, a Muslim person should not make muwakhat, brotherhood with fajr, someone who is sinful. فإنه يزين له فعله ويحب أن يكون مثله. This fajr, this vicious and sinful person would present his own bad actions in a nice way and tries to make this moment like himself. So instead of being a positive power, this becomes a negative power and force. وَلَا يُعِينُهُ عَلَىٰ أَمْرِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا أَمْرِ مَعَادِهِ. He would not help you in dunya or akhirah. وَمَدْخَلُهُ إِلَيْهِ وَمَخْرَجُهُ مِنْ عِنْدَهِ شَيْءٌ عَلَيْهِ. And the fact that you go and visit him and come out from his place, it would bring you dishonor, lack of honor. In another hadith, Imam Sadiq said, لا ينبغي للمرء المسلم أن يؤاخي الفاجر ولا الأحمق ولا الكذاب. A Muslim man or woman is not expected to make brotherhood with sinful people, with people who are stupid or fool and liars. Because there is a big impact on your heart through association, through friendship. Normally with our friends, we have no guard. With your enemies you have guard, therefore you are less affected by your enemies. If you have a sinful enemy, it's very hard to have impact on you. But if you have a sinful friend, you are not keeping any guard. And he can be with you day and night, when you are relaxed. So your soul more easily gets from this person. But more than others' actions, your own actions have impact on your heart, so you have to be very careful. And if bad mark is put on your heart, it's not easily, something that you can fix. So he says we should avoid mira, because mira can create illness, can create hatred, can create hypocrisy, and it would be difficult to remove it. Mira also would annoy people, and according to Islam, we should not annoy people. In Hadith says, "Man aadha li waliyan faqad barazani bil muharaba." Whoever annoys a wali of me, a friend of mine, a person who is under my wilayah, has started fight against me publicly and expressly. One of the signs of mira is that they sometimes make references to scholars or books, not because of their interest in truth, not because of their interest in knowledge, just as a way to back up themselves. So they misuse ulama and sources in order to silence or humiliate the other party. Their reference, their ruju to these things is not for the sake of benefiting. They want to misuse. Or another sign is that they talk a lot about patience. And you get the impression that these people are patient, but they themselves are not patient. Or they talk about taqwa, but they don't have taqwa. So we must make efforts to remove any trace of these bad qualities and purify and polish and refine our heart and intentions. Then he says something that if you think about it will break your back, is that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said about this type of seekers of knowledge, فَدَّقَ اللَّهُ مِنْ هَذَا خَيْشُومَهُ وَقَطَعَ مِنْهُ حَيْزُومَهُ. Imam says, may Allah damage his nose and break his back, the people who are seeking knowledge for bad reasons. So he says, if Imam who is ma'asum makes this dua, his dua will be accepted. So we have to be very worried not to be a person to whom this would be applied. He says, if through mira you want to get good reputation and fame, you must know that actually mira would damage fame and reputation. In this world, those who tried to promote themselves by wrong means, sooner or later they ended up with losing their reputation, and people can understand. But also in the other world, in front of the Prophet and angels, they would lose their honor. So he says, پس وای به حال ما اصحاب مرا و جدال و ارباب هواهای نفسانیه و خصومات. Woe to us People who do mirah, we have illnesses in our heart, we fight with people in our speech. How much we suffer and how much we are heedless and don't wake up. And then he says, Khudawanda, tum muslih ibad wa malik qulub hasti. Oh God, you are the one who reforms the conditions of your servants, and you are the possessor of the hearts. All beings are in your hand. The hearts of people are under your control. We don't have any control over our benefit or loss or death or life. Please, with your light, enlighten our dark hearts and our impure hearts, and transform the corruptions that are in us with your favor and with your attention. Transform them into good condition. And please take the hands off we poor, weak people. So this is the way he ends this part of the chapter. Inshallah, we continue this in the next session. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve for us our true ulama and true seekers of knowledge, and give them more tawfiq and more health. And we ask Allah to include us among true seekers of knowledge. Keep our intention always pure and sincere, and keep our sources always pure and sincere, and make learning and teaching and discussion some of the things that we would get from the greatest of joy in this dunya. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
اللهم صل على محمد